Picture this, a young soldier, only 25, full of life and promise. Gal Eisenkot, the son of a war cabinet minister, lost his life in northern Gaza. It's a story that has gripped the country. He was there in the thick of it when a tunnel shaft blew up. The news came in, injured, hospitalized, and then the devastating blow that he did not make it. Prime Minister Netanyahu conveyed his condolences and called him a hero. But he is not calling off the war. In fact, he is digging his heels in, talking about pushing forward. Meanwhile, this is not just about one soldier, one family's loss, of course. We are talking about numbers that make you pause and think. This Thursday, the Israeli army shared the names of 5 soldiers, including Eisenkot. They also revealed the total number of its military casualties. The total, a staggering 416 killed since the 7th of October. These figures are a jolt to the system. And as the recent war between Russia and Ukraine has shown us, the real count of the dead is often much higher. But Netanyahu remains on the war path, and now he's got his toughest call to make. Is he going to send his troops into the tunnels of Gaza to cling on to power? These tunnels in Gaza, they are not just any battleground. It's where the risk skyrockets, and every move is a matter of life and death. Experts assess that the risk to Israeli troops would be at its highest, losing all conventional advantages. But then here's the thing, Netanyahu has got his back against the wall with corruption charges and critics at every turn. He is desperately fighting to hold on to power. And how does he do that? His critics say by taking down Hamas, but at what cost? Let's just get real for a moment here. If Israel decides to take this fight underground into these tunnels, it's a whole new ball game. We are talking about a maze, a web of dangers waiting around every corner. And let's not forget, Hamas knows these tunnels like the back of their hand. And then there's this twist. Reports are floating around that Israel might just flood these tunnels with seawater to avoid the ground fight altogether. But that, you see, brings in its own set of complications. Whatever the option, Netanyahu is seemingly he's seemingly got his eyes on the prize. Wipe out Hamas, no matter what it takes. So where does that leave us? French President Emmanuel Macron, over at COP28, threw in his 2 cents about the viability of Netanyahu's aims. He's saying that this fight against Hamas will take at least a decade to win. But can Israelis sustain it? A protracted war against an irregular force has never really panned out, the US itself being a case in point. But that's not all. Netanyahu stands firm, ready to battle it out with Hezbollah as well, if the need be, going as far as making threats that Israel will single-handedly turn Beirut and South Lebanon into Gaza and Khan Yunis. And the US, on the other hand, is seemingly trying to pull in the reins. But let's be honest, there is no easy way out of this. Even the White House has issued a clarification, highlighting that the US has not given a deadline to Israel concerning its combat operations in Gaza. An argument can be made that if the war ends now, Hamas is still there and still a threat. As Israel navigates these turbulent waters, one thing is for sure, they are hoping for a Hanukkah filled with light, not shadows of war. But the road to peace is winding, lined with challenges and hard choices. The nagging question remains, can peace be achieved? And at what cost? WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.